for Black Friday stuff later when I show the clips. This is the review of Coco. Then, yeah, so I went to see the latest Pixar movie. The beginning of the story was Olaf's Christmas. Was a short involving the Frozen characters. It was cute. Yeah, so the little snowman wants to find their Christmas traditions and proceeds to then get a bunch of Christmas traditions from different people in the Netherlands, and then proceeds promptly to destroy all of them by accident. At which point, then later on, Elsa and Anna find that he was the tradition. Oh, so anyway, spoiling. But yes, yes, strange and cute idea. They threw in a Viking helmet line with the horns on it, even though Vikings with horns on them, that's from later. That's from Wagner's play. Nothing to do with Vikings, for really. Actually, it was just Wagner being weird. Um, but everybody assumes. Anyway, so yeah. So unless that story takes place in modern times, then I don't know. I'm not sure when Frozen is supposed to take place. Pixar theories, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, John Lasseter helped make the Coco movie. He was there somewhere as the consultant. So yeah, there's the Coco movie doesn't appear to fit anywhere in the Pixar theory unless one of the people in it, one of the dead guys, was the creator of Woody eventually, but maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, I'll say that first. That'd be very, very, yeah. Anyway, so if you've seen if you've seen that movie with Zoe Saldana a while back, the 2 years ago or so, the Book of Life, it's very similar to this movie. Also, the stuff from the beginning of that James Bond movie, Spectre, very similar. A lot of the key elements of the Day of the Dead are, I guess, part of their mythos. It's curious that instead of the flying bird snake, it was more of a flying cat bird. It would have been bird snake. It would have been the Quetzalcoatl and all that. Anyway, so but yeah, which would have looked a lot like the Luck Dragon from Never-Ending Story, but no, they made it a cat. There was also a dog spirit. But yeah, I'll probably give away too much in the review. Both of these movies had very heartfelt scenes that bring lots of tissues or napkins to the movies. It's very sad in parts. And yes, be warned. Spoiler: it's very sad in parts. Oh, it's like, yeah, and the oldest character in it is the senile grandmother character, who in Book of Life is actually a little more like sparky and stuff, and at the end she dies. Well, of course, you're going to expect that to happen in this because this is a literal like form, kind of a rip-off of it. But yeah. But if it's the same concept, then okay, it's not a rip-off, it's an homage, I guess. But it's very good. It's very good. It's one of the better Pixar movies. It's up there with maybe Toy Story 3, which is very good. Yeah, so it's very good. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, so even though it was derivative of that other movie, a lot of that other movie, including the gags with the dead people and the guy going half dead and he's half alive, and the kid has to go to the netherworld to try and get back his music mojo and then return, and his family doesn't want him to have music because his stepfather or father that left him became this famous musician in town and left the family and became a famous musician. And then there's this other guy who's a riffraff that's following him around, the kid around. Sounds creepy, but it isn't. And yeah, so we've got this sort of the whole idea of the hero's journey being him with the rogue guy and not realizing who the rogue guy actually is. I won't give that away. It's fairly obvious when you see the movie. But yes, it does beg the question then from the obvious. I don't want to spoil it. Why didn't the other dead people in the dead realm just tell him who he was? Why do you have to figure it out? The movie could have been over in like 6 minutes. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to... So did they know? Because they would have. So the premise is the little kid basically... this little kid is told not to do music, basically, because years ago, the grandfather left the family and took off and did his own thing. But the Day of the Dead honors all the ancestors except the grandfather, and the kid thinks that the grandfather is the big singer in town, that guy that died years ago, and he's going to go to the netherworld and find him to get special treatment, I guess. But instead he finds his dead family who are in the netherworld, the Deus de la Morta world. And, which is an interesting cross between the Spain Catholic Day of the Dead thing and the Mexican sort of Day of the Dead. Their version, which has a lot of influences from Indian culture, Native American culture as well, such as flying dragon things and snakes and cats and all that stuff, which are spirit guides, spirit animals. That's very much an Indian, Native American thing. So, but they have this, and they have pictures. They have to take your picture in the netherworld or you can't get across. How would they have that before photography? I don't know. But the movie takes place apparently in modern times, so they reference the 40s in there at one point. One of them, the singer, big singer guy that the town all loves, died in 43. I won't say how. And they have to go and find him. But yeah, so the idea that the the premise of this movie is not like Day of the Dead, the other movie, the Day of Book of Life. Book of Life had, well, the premise is similar enough that they knew of each other. 2.5 years ago, there was a movie called Book of Life, where a main character has to discover himself again, a hero, by inadvertently going to the netherworld to find his dead relatives, to survive himself. He wants to be doesn't want to be a bullfighter or whatever. Kind of seems like that bullfighter movie too, a little bit. The Ferdinand movie with The Rock, John Cena. I was going to say The Rock, John Cena, which looks like fun. But yeah, it's kind of the same idea. This bullfighter guy wants to go to the netherworld where he's loved better in the netherworld than here, and then the grandmother helps him out at the end, and that's kind of, in a nutshell, what happens in this one. The main hero character goes into the netherworld, meets a bunch of people, has a netherworld adventure, a little like Inside Out, and that other story, and then things happen that lead to him discovering his calling and also getting back home. Yeah, the hero's journey has to come back home. That's not really a spoiler. I'm not really going to give any spoilers. I want you to go and see it. But yes, Coco doesn't refer to the child. It refers to the grandmother. Yes, interesting title choice. I don't think it's on the Pixar theory anywhere, unless somehow one of them created Woody. I guess. They didn't say that in the movie, but I guess this is what they turned into that other Indian from India story where they changed it around to make it this movie instead. It was a little short for the Indian boy who wanted to live differently, wanted to go on adventures, and the father wouldn't let him. It's the same idea. A little short that they made. Makes you wonder what their next movie will be. And that's Coco. Different group of Indians, Native Americans. It's different, and then Mexican holiday thing. The kids in the death mask costumes and all that. It's interesting that it's a little like Halloween. This movie would have been great if it had come out on Halloween, because then the Halloween movie, as with the other one. It is great. It is a Oscar-worthy movie. I'll say that much. It is good enough to get an Oscar, and it should. So when the Oscar time comes around, animated movie, Pixar blew it out of the water again. Uh, yeah. So fine, Oscar. Yeah. So the other version of it, Book of Life, wasn't Pixar. So well, I think it was DreamWorks. But yeah, Pixar has had a kind of a history with its other luminaries over the years, ever since Toy Story, actually, go all the way back to the beginning. Most curiously so, it was caused by the year that A Bug's Life and Ants came out, in which they were literally produced by people that quit early Pixar to do another movie about ants and bugs. And they created Ants. They created Bug's Life. So they were like in the same year. That whole studio Bugs movie. Bug movies are cool. This kind of thing. But yes, so they've been doing this for years. But this case, they wanted to make it different enough from Book of Life. So they were like, well, let's change a few things because we know this other movie came out. Everybody's going to compare it. So instead of making it be about the hero guy who has to get back his singing stuff or do his other or get back in the game or whatever. It's a kid instead. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a kid. We'll change it to a kid. That's what they had to do. But yes, even they kind of suggest that the two singer guys were kind of a couple. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But maybe not. But they weren't in the end. But yes, I'm going to give away too much. But yes, go see the Coco. Yeah, it's odd that this movie is called Coco and they spell it C-O-C-O instead of C-O-C-O-A. And yeah, packed house, incidentally. It's a Friday, it's Black Friday, packed house. All kinds of little kids, most of them Spanish speaking. They had another trailer for another movie, also like Ferdinand, another animal movie with talking animals. Oh, they also had Paddington Bear 2, and they had Peter Rabbit as well. That was being advertised, the Peter Rabbit live-action movie, which the furries should like. But I'll say this for the Peter Rabbit movie, it looks like they're trying to do Smurfs. Because they got you have like the human hero character who's the bumbling bad guy dude, but he's sort of also he's Smurfs, but he's also the guy from Alvin and the Chipmunks, and he's also Gargamel from the Smurfs. So he's like, so he's sort of evil. He wants to get rid of the rabbits, and then it seems to become like Home Alone, which is probably not a good thing to imitate. Now kids are going to be electrocuting doorways with jumper cables like in Home Alone, in this movie. Yes, but in back to Coco. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Coco.